I'm streaming to different places. I'm streaming everywhere but Kick. Yeah, because that's where they would be. Those people generally. How do I share the link? Oh, you got to go in here, yeah. Go on YouTube. Okay. Oh, they're cool. I just got some riffs in my head, and I'm making some spaghetti. Fuck, my finger's fucked. I'm trying to get that hammer on pull off thing like. We can do it there. Whoa. Ow. My finger is so hurting. Gotta check the spaghetti before it burns up. Dinner's wrecked. Good. Perfect. Okay. So hungry. All that work and recovery. Oh, if I could get more ideas. Do. I don't know. Just fucking around. Whatever's popping in my head. I get to eat skitties. Hopefully I don't get too tired after and then stop streaming. Probably that's what's going to happen. Just tired. Out cold. Oh, now my sauce is cold. Oh well. I can hear some arpeggios in there. Like somebody who's a better guitar player than me. Like some fancy arpeggios. You should just eat dinner and go on Omegle. That'd be funny. Like, old man eating. That's always cute. You old man. You old man. Go sit down. This is mine. Come right up like you're expecting a plate. You'll get some after. Just wait. Last little Parmesan. Lots of salt. You know what I'll do because I'm eating? I'll find some just YouTube content to watch. Yeah, and I guess I can say it on here. Please follow me on Wood, Stone, and Steel on YouTube. I'll drop it in the comments. Oh, somebody's here. Hey! I'm looking good? Thank you. I'm okay. I'm trying. You see me streaming and, you know, I'm trying. I'm struggling, but I'm going. So here, I'll drop the link to the channel. It's just going to be blacksmithing. Nothing political. Nothing, you know what I mean? Kosher. I'm not sure if you followed me on the other things. And, yeah, today I was just lazy. I'm recovering from working at my mom's. The floor's done. The baseboards are going on next, and then kitchen countertop, vanity in the bathroom, toilet, and then done. Pretty much, you can start moving furniture in there, and I'm out. That I'm here, permanent, I guess. Unless I go back to the States, I'd like to. I need a good offer though. You know what I mean? I kind of need to go under someone's wing and get help. If I tried to become a citizen or even work, you need a visa now, everything. You know what I mean? So this time I want to do it right. Let's see what there is to watch. Just while I'm eating, I'll remove myself from the stream. There might be some political stuff I watch, but well, I'm just trying to promote it right now anyways. I just need 50 followers on Wood, Stone, and Steel, and then I can live stream me blacksmithing and doing carpentry and, you know, being creative. Let's check this out. This guy makes. Could be Turkish, could be whatever. Who knows? I'm just looking to see if it says where he's from. No, he's got 300,000 subscribers. I should just tell these people, please follow me, da da da. But you have to be impressive to make something impressive first. People are like, yeah. That's a gas forge. Gas powered forge. And temperature controlled and everything. He looks, yeah, he kind of looks, yeah, in between Slavic and Islamic. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be just positive. I won't hardly talk about nothing. I just get in trouble when I talk. I did see a lot of rebar there yesterday at the scrapyard. What they need is an hour or two to go to the scrapyard. There might be an old anvil there that will just sell you for weight, or at least something small I can use as an anvil. Maybe a big piece of I-beam. I don't know what he's making. Oh, the sword. Yeah. There he does. All I did was exclude kick. So I'm streaming to fire hazard. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's why I need to get a building, a second building here with just a dirt floor, you know what I mean? Or rock, gravel on the floor. That's it. That's the goal. Oh, he's doing the Damascus. And I need a welder, yeah. This guy's propane bill must be off the charts. Unless he's got natural gas there. If he's got natural gas, he's all set. It's way cheaper than propane. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get all this going, do well, you know, not need anybody's help. That's called forge welding. You pound them together so hard they just fuse into one piece. He's got a lot of equipment there, just like a bandsaw. At least not in that room. Forge. You don't need a lot. You don't need as much as carpentry shop. That's a power hammer. Those are expensive. Yeah, it's like a flux. They use it like a soldering flux. Somehow it removes all the impurities of the metal. It helps it stick together better if you're trying to forge them together. That's pretty cool stuff. I'm probably going to chop this up and do it another. That's what most of these guys seem to do. They grind it down and they chop it into more pieces, and they keep folding it like that. That's folding the steel, you know what I mean? Then you get that crazy pattern in the metal. Damascus, they call it. Plus, you can see the pattern when you grind the steel. It reveals the pattern of the molecules. And that's some hard metal to cut through, too. You go through a lot of grinder discs. I had one of those. It's gone. I sold it on that trip. MIG welder. I shouldn't have sold it. You can get them cheap though. You can get them for like $100. Oh, stuff. Alcohol. Probably better off with it. Yeah, I can weld pretty good. Not super good, but pretty good. I welded my flagpole together, 3 different pieces. Pipe's hard to weld. You gotta go around and around. This guy's way better than me. He's been doing it a while. I'm just learning. Oh, fuck, I forgot about copyright. Because I'm sharing other people's YouTube stuff, and I'm on YouTube. I'm like streaming on YouTube. Hope they don't mind. Hope it's fair use. I'm not claiming it's my content. Good job. Or I'm going to do some of this grinding. Cut out some more shapes too. Yeah, educational. I'm learning. I'm learning by watching. That's one of the hardest parts, like when I'm doing it, is cutting really precise with the grinder. The one he's using is too big. You just need a small one if you're going to shape them. But yeah, once you got the shape right, then it's just a matter of refining the shape. Not too hard. I just need better grinders to take off more material quicker. I was supposed to go this morning to the scrapyard, and I didn't. I forgot all about that. I'm gonna go Monday, I think. My little head in the bottom. Yeah, look, this grinder is way more powerful. Yeah, he sort of looks Slavic, but he sort of looks Muslim. Or Middle Eastern. It's hard to tell what the guy is. Especially with beards. It doesn't say a country. Oh, I forgot. I'm not following this guy. I got a Facebook. Knives Project. Says he lives in a mountain village. I can't figure out which country. He's got 1,000 followers on Facebook. That's pretty good. Maybe he's in the Russian Caucasus or something. You know what I mean? He could be there. That's kind of an easy pattern. Way easier than going straight lines. Straight lines are tricky because you're grinding something that's round against, you know, make a straight line. Maybe I do need one of those big grinders. It takes up a lot more faster. Yeah, he looks Russian Caucasus Mountains or something, or Azerbaijan, or what's the other place? Armenia, or if one of you guys figures it out, tell me. Wherever it is, he's got natural gas. Oh no, he's got propane tank in the back. I made one of these, but somebody got rid of it on me. It had concrete. It was lined with fire brick. Homemade fire brick. Oh yeah, that's fucking white hot. Jesus. That's a good idea to let it burn. Burn the crap off of it. I think though, it probably stinks like crazy. It's pretty cool. I don't usually like those curvy knives, but this one looks pretty good. Curvy sword. Oh yeah, this guy welds the threaded rod right into the tang, which is cool because you can unscrew the pommel and change the handle, and you know if the handle ever broke. I would probably do something like that too. It's a smart idea. Just like how some guitars don't have a truss rod, you know. Oh, buffing wheel. Is it Scotch Brite or something? I don't know how much this costs. I don't have one. All kinds of shit I don't have that I need. It makes me feel like doing something tonight. I did sleep like most of the day. So. Crazy curves on that. It's insane. Freaky. You wouldn't want that thing going in you. Leave a crooked cut, that's for sure. He's not showing you. He's probably spent hours sanding this thing. You know what I mean? Hours and hours and hours. That's the biggest part of it, is grinding it and sanding it. It's metal. It's so hard. Wood is like way faster to work with. This is some kind of acid. Ferric chloride. Yeah, I need a bunch of pipes like this too, to dunk things in. Oh, that's what you guys are saying. The beard does make you think. Yeah. It's something in between Middle Eastern and European. Whatever he is. I can tell because... Oh, nice. Brass. Brass looks the best, you know, shiny steel. Contrast, you know what I mean? Oh, used engine oil. Wow, he's got a forge for melting metal too. A crucible or whatever. They've got it all. That's the pommel and the guard. Yeah, I gotta learn this next, how to melt metal. man, he's just going basic. He doesn't care as long as he's got the rough blob of grass, you know what I mean? That isn't the proper way to do it, but it works. Nice. That's gonna take forever to cool down though. Hey, it reminds me of that dude, Big Laws, the strongman guy from England. He's like half English, half, who knows, Turkish or Pakistani or who knows. Kind of look. And now you see those Damascus patterns from the folding. This is going to look epic, this part. That's probably the next day. Metal takes so long to cool down. Or at least a couple hours. It's like gold. That's why I like brass. It looks like gold, but it's not gold. You know, it's cheaper. Stronger too. It's hard to come by those people. Always bring it to the recycling place, you know. Mostly old taps and things like that. Fittings, plumbing fittings. Okay. How's he gonna get that slot through there? Oh, drill it out. Yeah. That's a sharp drill bit, man. You go through that so easy. I'd say he knows how to sharpen his own drill bits. I do as well, but it's a lot of work. It's a big hunk of brass. I think that's an end mill from a milling machine. They call it. Yeah. That little bit right there is probably like $30, you know, or $50. Expensive. Nice. I just like doing stuff like this too because you have to really concentrate and focus and cool. Peace. Yeah, it's hard to find a chunk of steel or brass that's that big, square. He probably saves all them shavings too. To remelt them. Ah, yeah, the threading. I do have the tools to do this. It's called a tap and die set. It's got most of the common sizes. You can break them so easy though because they're hard steel. They always snap off if you twist them too fast. You gotta really take it slow threading them. Yeah, that's a nice sander. Look at the big motor. It's probably 2 horsepower at least. I like the shit I've got. I want to put a bucket of water right near mine, like close by, and always fresh water or something. You have to cool it down when you're grinding it. Just to be able to hold on to it. It gets so hot. Maybe I should just go for a sander like that. What I'm used to already. I don't know the belt size though. The sandpaper size. I just need a handle. Oh, nice. Antler. Elephant tusk would be cool too. Or like mammoth. Yeah, I want to use mammoth bone. If I ever get good and I make a lot of money doing that, I want to make mammoth bone fucking handles. Like with like designs burnt in, knots and stuff. Don't ever do what he just did. You'll cut your tape measure. I've done it. No, that stuff is. Yeah, and if you're over in Russia and Eastern Europe, you can get mammoth ivory so cheap, so easy, or whatever. Not cheap, but easy. Oh, it's like wood. I don't know what it is. This you can fuck up if the hole doesn't line up. It's the first hole. I've done that too. It's probably a flat jaw vise, like no teeth, so it doesn't scratch. You can put wood in them too for the jaws. Epoxy resin. Looks like JB Weld. Some kind of epoxy. I did that with the knife and the handle held. It stayed on, it works. That'll never come apart. Ever. Not for a long time, anyways. I wonder what kind of material that is. It's wood or bone or... I've seen Ukrainians that look like this guy. Not as dark. There's a few of them. They look muzzy looking. Hey, baby. Another one bites the dust. Little chick. I don't get Lyme disease. I've been bitten so much this year. Oh, that looks really good. Definitely looks like wood to me. Buffing wheel. That's what I'm gonna check out tomorrow. I got one of these. What are they called? Bench grinder. I'm gonna see if I can turn it into a sander, a big sander. I'm gonna read the motor and see what the horsepower is. If it's 2 horsepower, or even 1.5. Look right there. Can you read that? What does it say? 50 something hertz, 220 volts. No, 220 to 240 volts. Where's the horsepower? Oh, it goes by RPMs. Yeah, RPMs. You got to convert them to horsepower. So I got to figure out how many RPMs as well. Because a lot of these motors at the scrapyard have RPMs written instead of horsepower. Yeah, they're mostly water pump motors, especially around here because people's basements flood. So there's like sump pumps and you know what I mean. But they spin. What do you want? Good girl. Tiny. Nice. I don't know if I like how when they dip it in acid, it makes it all grayed out like that. You know, it shows the pattern, but I like the shinier metal. I don't care about the matte patterns or whatever. I'll learn it one day, but these rust so easy though, like real swords and knives. They rust like fast. You have to keep them oiled and clean and dry. It's like a tool, you know what I mean? In the ancient times, that was like your tool for fighting. I think guns are the same thing, right? Same way. They rust easy, don't they? Because they're high quality steel. Oh, great. More attacks from Russia on Ukraine. I think my dog needs to go. You need to go outside? Hold on. Check this out. You guys can watch this.
You may be wondering what a leg vise or post vise is. It's a vise used by a blacksmith and gets his signature name from the leg or post. The leg contacts the ground, and when the blacksmith strikes the workpiece it's holding, it transfers the force into the ground. Over a few weekends, I'm going to be functionally restoring this one, and if you hang around to the end, I'll show you how it's used.
I think it smells propane. Always totally restoring this thing. I got an antique vise, but it's not one of those ice cream, but it's fucking thawed out. Now it's just like foam. Good though. Ah, okay. There you go. That's a good quote. You're smarter than me. Definitely. One of the few people, I would say.
Now it's all cleaned up. The first thing that's missing is a spring. It goes in between here and pushes this jaw out. I'm going to replace it with this leaf spring, so let's go and do that. I want to make a note here that although that I've done this with a spring, you can actually just use mild steel. But since I had the correct spring in the right width, that's what I've used. What I'm making here is
I got
another
a piece of
that's
that
missing.
outside.
If you found this video, it's more than likely that yours is missing too if you're restoring a leg vise. You could get all fancy and make one of these using traditional blacksmithing techniques,
I should give him a
but it's going to be a
follow,
lot easier for me to just fabricate one using some 20mm or 3/4 inch plate I had lying around.
too. Oh, cool.
What this is a mounting bracket. It's the bracket that connects the vise to the stand or table you're mounting it to. I've just looked up photos of a design that was used for vices this size and gone with it.
Yeah, look, he converted his bench grinder into a belt grinder. That's what I should do. I don't have that. That's like a mill. Metal lathe. Making this all from scratch.
Next up is the wedges. The mounting bracket I've just made needs them to hold against the post. I'm making 2 wedges,
Oh wow, it's all
one that
water
locks in
under there.
place and the other one that moves against it. The wedges have opposing angles, and when the moving wedge moves, it forces the bracket and spring against the post. I've also got to make another wedge and spacer for the pin that the moving jaw pivots on. So first up, we've got the spring that sits in here. Next to the spring, we've got this part which holds it in place. On the back of the spring, we have the mounting plate. So the idea of the wedges is we're actually pushing this mounting bracket against the post. It then pulls this side in. So as you can see, if we put a wedge in here, it forces this bracket against this. I've made the wedges. This one's a locking wedge, so that when you sit it in, it stays there. Once it's in, it slides back here and doesn't fall out. Then we're free to put the other wedge in. We bump it down with a hammer. And it holds everything nicely in place. So what I'm doing here is I'm heating it up so it's too hot to touch, but not enough that it ruins the heat treatment. I'm going to be adding boiled linseed oil, and the heat burns it, create the black finish that I'm after. Heating it up also helps it to dry quicker, and so after waiting a few days it won't be sticky anymore. Now I've got to wait for that linseed oil to dry. I'm going to build a stand for it. I'm using some plywood here because I already had it. I'm basically building an empty box which will have a steel top and a lip around the edge. I want the steel top so that I can place hot things on it without them rolling away. If it needs more mass to it, then I can just fill the box with rocks or concrete later. I'm coating the plywood in more linseed oil and then burning it to give it a more blacksmithy appearance.
Hey, this is giving me some ideas. I got some angle iron like that. Maybe I could make the thing I need out of angle iron. I got pulleys. Yeah, I'm gonna see even
Here
if I could
putting it
use
together. You can
even if I could use the same bench grinder, same belts I have. Yeah, this guy does. Country Appalachian, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow that's what I'm gonna do in the morning. I'm gonna get up nice and early and fuck around in the workshop, even if it's raining. And see if I can take a motor and make like a. Well, you can even probably take you could probably take flat pieces of sandpaper and join them together. Like there's a way to do it, special tape. Like I'm gonna figure that out, and then I can make my own belts, sanding belts. That's the biggest thing. It's gonna be the biggest thing. Just to figure out how to do that. But I'm gonna see if I can make a better sander tomorrow. Something you could lift up too and bring outside because it makes a lot of fumes and dust, and it'd be nice to just be able to pick it up, go outside, and
You can see the
I don't even know what he's
black
making now.
The linseed oil.
Oh, the vice thing still. Yeah.
I never intended to have the wooden base, but the metal base warped when I welded
Oh,
it,
that's
so
beautiful.
it wasn't stable enough without it.
Forged. That's basically just to hold hot pieces of metal while you're working on them, I guess. That's a wedge.
The grease here is just to help it move more smoothly. It's never going to wear out.
No, not being that thick. That's thick steel.
You can see me wrestling against the spring here. It went together a lot easier without it, but obviously the vice needs the spring, so I just had to wrestle through it.
Oh, so you made the spring out of
You saw me
leaf
making
spring.
this wedge and spacer before.
Spring steel.
Now, this pin isn't original, but it was original when it came to me, so I decided to keep it in.
Okay, that's the piece I have. I have that piece downstairs. So I could make this.
Now, if you thought I was wrestling before,
Shit.
I actually did this a couple of times. without the clamp, but it was so long that I decided to pull it apart. And
Yeah, I've got that
cord.
screw.
So if you're gonna put one of these together, I'd highly recommend using a sash clamp to just hold it in place.
So I could make this, yeah.
As I said at the start of the video, this has been a functional restoration because I intend on using it. I don't want it to look pretty or painted off because we'll end up losing its paint to the
The dog's trying to fish
one of these.
pieces of spaghetti out of her water because, like, I used a pot and put some water in it, and there was spaghetti in it. She's trying to fish it out with her tongue.
Part to repair would be the screw and the screw box. They were both fine on mine.
He sounds like a New
Buy one,
Zealander.
I look for a bent handle. It's a pretty good indicator that's been abused. If either legs are bent, you might be better off finding another one.
It's hard. I can't tell them apart sometimes. New Zealanders and Australians. Yeah, I need a gas forge, but I couldn't afford the propane, right? These are
As
like
promised at the start of the video, the reason to use a leg vise is so you can hammer down on it. I'm forging the taper for this nail on the anvil, then we'll move to the vise to form the head. It's not the easiest way to make nails, but thought it was good to demonstrate my point.
Oh, a nail. Okay. Yeah, every nail used to be made by hand by blacksmiths. Can you imagine how long that would take? You'd be like making nails all day. Just you'd have some kid you taught, you know what I mean? Hey, make nails. It's your first lesson. Make nails all day.
For something a bit heavier, here's a railroad spike. I'm just going to bend it with the vise to show some heavier blows.
I got one of those, a couple of those.
I'm just starting out on my blacksmithing journey, and I'll be uploading projects, some of which are blacksmith related that I'm working on as I go. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Nice. I followed him. Let's see who else we can follow. Oh, it's a mellow night. A little bit hungover. I want what's it called? Machete. Blacksmithing. Machete. I might do that tomorrow. Make one like a heavy duty machete. And one of the pieces outside. It's easy. Plus it look cool. I'm not ready for the sword yet that you're talking about because it has to look gold colored. I need well, I'll see what I can find tomorrow. If I can find some good pieces of steel, then I can do it. And I got to find a lot more wood, hardwood. Yeah, sort of like what this guy's making.
Hey, I'm Bob and I like to make stuff. Today we're gonna make a machete.
That was kind of ugly though. I like to make stuff. Me too.
Today we're back out at the farm, and to clear some space on the farm, I need a machete. I decided to
see, yeah, you got to live on the farm or in a country, or you got to have space to do this kind of stuff, right? So you'll never be a good creator, material creator, unless you have space to work, at least a workshop or a garage or something. I don't know why anyone wants to live in the city.
to make that machete, and that includes two big things that I really know nothing about: knife making and blacksmithing. So today, we're gonna start learning how to do both of those things. It should be pretty obvious, but I'll go ahead and say it anyway. I don't know what I'm doing. Don't take...
Yeah, I've worked at places where we've done renovations here, and there's been blacksmith nails. There's probably some in my mom's house. I tried to save them, but I fucking lost them. I had a whole pile of them, like a bucket full of them, and they're kind of cool. It's neat.
Take anything this video as the correct way to do it.
What I was going to do with them, yeah, this is what I was going to do for Christians, like weld two together, you know, because they're like the stakes that went in the Jesus's hands, sort of thing. They would sell. People would like that, you know what I mean? To, I don't know if someone's probably already done it, but it's a neat idea, you know. Make little crosses out of blacksmith nails and then dunk them in silver or something. That's like the two nails.
But instead, check out some of the other awesome videos here on YouTube from blacksmiths and knife makers with the correct details.
But now I can make my own nails and do it, like, if I get a better vise, or need like a, I can't even think, I'm getting tired from eating. The anvil. I need like an anvil with a vise right on it.
Also, I found these 2 books that I'm currently going through, and they've got a ton of great information in them. I'll link these down in the description in case you want to check them out. Before we get started though, I want to walk you through the setup that I'm using and show some of the reasons why it's maybe not ideal or things that are going to need to be upgraded in the future.
This is good to watch other beginners, right? Because
thing is the forge. A few weeks back, you may remember that I actually made this forge in a video, and it does technically work, but honestly, it doesn't really get as hot as I would like, and it's kind of short for making a machete. So I went onto eBay, and I found this little forge. So I'm going to hook this thing up and get it going for the...
Yeah, and mine uses too much wood. What I got to do is make... I got some scrap steel. I'm going to make some dividers now so that you can shove it in between the bricks, and then it's like... you know what I mean? You only need to burn as much wood as the piece of material you're working on. So I need to do that too tomorrow. I should make a list.
First time, but I've got some friends like David Picciuto and Jimmy DiResta who have the same one, and they've had great results. Now let's move on to the anvil. I have this awesome anvil that I got that is too low. I don't have a stand tall enough yet to have it at the right height. So for now, it's going to be a little bit low, and it's also not...
You want it about as high as your crotch or even higher your belt, so you're not bending over all the time, pounding on steel.
Not tied down to the stand. Eventually, you want to have that tied down so it doesn't bounce around. I'll get to that when I build the new stand. I've got a hammer, which is a 3-pound hammer, not ideal, but again, it's what I've got on hand until I get a better one. And for the steel, I've got a piece of 3/16 high carbon steel that I'm going to use for the knife. This will give the back of the blade a nice thick edge, so it's really strong, and we can start to hammer this down into the blade. All right, let's fire this thing up and get this hot.
Wish I still had the welding gloves. But even they wouldn't work probably for this. You need like heavy duty.
While that's heating up, let me show you.
I need like firefighters gloves is what I need. Let me look on Amazon.
Some of the ideas in my notebook of the shapes that I'm going for. There's a bunch of different shapes of machetes. I've got 2 sketched out here that I kind of like. This one has more of a curved back and then really gentle curves on the bottom. I've got kind of the curves marked out here outside the shape so I know where I want to put the stress and where I want to beat on the metal. This is another option down here with a straighter front and just a straight back. I think I'm going to go with this one. This is more traditional, but there's a bunch of different shapes and they're all called machetes. Just to give you an idea of what I'm doing here, I've got a little mark that's gonna tell me where the tang or the handle is gonna be down here. And then I added a little curve at the top to draw down the tip of the knife, and now I'm trying to thin out the cutting edge and kind of pull that down. That's gonna completely change the end of this. I'll have to deal with that later on. But also, I'm doing my best to keep it straight. I'm not doing a great job yet.
Yeah, that's the hard part. We just learned that when I was doing it. Check this out. They got these on Amazon. Barbecue gloves. They up to 900 degrees they can handle. That'd be something to start off with. I don't know how hot the steel gets though. Probably gets hotter than 900 degrees. I'm just looking around on here to see what they got. I need like fucking extreme heat resistant, you know. I'd rather hold the metal than get a pair of tongs, at least at first, because like it's hard to shape the metal, move it around with it's hard enough just with using your hand, never mind the tongs. But I could try to make the tongs tomorrow. There's I got some rebar. I can't seem to get the metal hot enough though. I want it like white hot. Grill accessory, leather. But you don't want leather, it'll burn. It's good for like welding and stuff, low heat. But I need like Kevlar or something. Kevlar. I don't want no bullshit. I want the real deal. Gloves so fucking heat resistant that you could pick up like a fucking hot coal in your hand and not burn. You know what I mean? Pick up a hot coal right out of a bonfire and it just doesn't do shit to the gloves at all. Welding gloves. 932 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, Fahrenheit. Would that be a lot more in Celsius? Let's see, Celsius to Fahrenheit. Uh, 932. That's the degrees. Yeah, that's only 500 degrees Celsius. That's no way. That's no good. You need like 1,000 degrees Celsius to 2,000. 2,500. Anyways, I'll switch back.
But I need to make sure.
I want to make like a cool chopper shape. You know what I mean? Kind of like that knife I just made, except with the tip going downwards. I know the tip goes downwards on mine too. Yeah, the same kind of shape, but with like more of a curve. I want to try some curvy shapes now instead of these Viking straight shapes.
That I'm keeping it as flat as I can between each one of the heats. Another thing I've read about knife making is that at any point you can switch from forging to stock removal. You can head to the grinder to start to shape out the curves and smooth out the surfaces. So I'm really just doing this part for the experience of it. And at some point, when I think I'm not really making any more progress, I'll switch over to the grinder.
Yeah, that's what I did. It was like that's as much as I can do. Yeah, and you hit it one side, it goes crooked on the other side. You gotta really. I'm gonna get a straight edge too that I can bring out there, or just keep outside. That you can lay with a magnet, maybe you can lay right on top of the metal.
Curve, try to get the back by cutting of the handle down here. I did because what I've got I had here is to go through. We're back 3. You let in the grain of the steel down detail enough to get the actual cutting edge. Make.
Yeah, see, there's the 2x32 belt grinder. That's what I need. Or need to make. See the design of it? Look right there. Yeah, it's like a Y. It's like a Y on the end of a square tube with 2 big fucking pulleys or 2 big ball bearing things, whatever. That wouldn't be that hard to make. Looks like the top parts. Yeah, just some angle brackets. There's 2 angle brackets, a flat platen of steel, 2 bolts holding it on. Should have ground it flat though first.
I'm extremely excited about how well this is turning out. I really actually kind of like the forge marks. It's actually a lot easier. There's actually get up steady. It's not meant to be
too messy looking for me. I don't like the way it looks. I could do better. Like this. That's a better shape. Look at that. It's badass. Choppy chop. Yeah, that's nice. Good shape. Oh, these guys are doing the shorts longer. Oh, let's see how many I got on mine. I just uploaded it like minutes ago. How many? 462 views already. Yes. Nice. That's good. That's a good sign. Where's the music? Oh, don't tell me they removed it. I don't get it. Should have music. Oh, it's muted. I think I already got my own style for making things. Hopefully that gets me some success. You know what I mean? Yeah, something like that machete there. Just look. I just look for shapes too, yeah. Let's get a nice shape.
Can you turn this old leaf spring into a powerful machete? We start by cutting down the spring and heating it until it glows red hot. With heavy hammering, the tough steel is forged into the rough shape of a machete. Careful grinding refines the blade, bringing out its long, sharp edge and bold silhouette. After heat treating, the steel becomes even tougher, ready for serious action. A final polish and edge test prove it.
Yeah,
this machete isn't just sharp, it's unstoppable. From scrap suspension to a beast of a blade. If you love raw...
See that he was only cooling the edge where the sharp
transformations, like and subscribe for more. Can you turn this old...
Yeah, some of these Pakistani guys, man, are fucking good at this shit. From what I've seen, like, that's all they're doing is making this shit all day long.
This video shows an impressive machete heat treatment technique. Only the edge is hardened, while the rest of the blade stays flexible. Watch as the edge of the machete is expertly hardened to hold a sharp edge, while the rest of the blade remains soft to absorb impact and prevent breaking.
That's cool.
This technique combines durability with flexibility.
Try that.
This video shows an impressive machete.
Interesting. Asians probably make the best machetes because they live in the jungles over there, you know what I mean? I would say. Oh yeah, he did what I did, put the handle on. Wow, that's beautiful. Love the shape. Like a katana. Yeah, maybe that's it. Katana machete. Yes. Katana machete. Coming up tomorrow. That'll get me ready for the sword, eh, Doug? I don't know if he's listening still. But if you are, yeah, that'll get me ready for the sword because the sword's kind of... Celsius is smaller. Yeah. Let's see here. Where was the picture? Okay, he sent it. Doug sent me some screenshots of the fucking sword. It's way back though. I gotta remember the name too. If you want to write the name in the comments if you're still watching. If you're not, then I'll scroll through our chats and look for the okay, I got the name. I don't want to tell anybody. It's yeah, that's a katana, basically. It is. It's just a gold katana. Yeah. That would prepare me totally for making the sword. Yep. But how am I going to get it to go gold color? That's going to be the trick. Is you can do it with a torch and heat it up, to a certain temperature and then quench it and it'll stay gold colored. Or you can anodize. Let me see. Anodizing. High carbon steel. You do it with electricity. The different voltages turn it different colors. It's kind of really cool, actually. Any color. Yeah, check this out. This is
clappy, just waiting for something to happen. Everything I touch doesn't work as soon as the cameras turn on. Yep, I say we give up.
Yeah.
In today's video, we're gonna...
And I've got a variable voltage supply downstairs. So I can literally do this. I can change metal any color I want.
Talk about anodizing. So I'm a machinist and I work with metals every single day. It's showtime. Yes, blue chips and greatness. And there's a ton of different coatings out there that you can coat metals with, but today we're gonna talk about one in specific, anodizing. So today we're gonna take a piece of titanium and we're gonna anodize it using nothing but what you see here on this table. Distilled water, copper wire, baking soda, and 9-volt batteries.
I don't need the batteries because I got the voltage meter.
The cool thing about the batteries is by using different numbers of batteries, you can achieve
I need to write down these voltages. That's what I need to do right now.
different colors in your anodizing process. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take some distilled water and we're gonna fill up our anodization bowl.
I don't have
now
that.
you may notice we already have a bowl right next to it that has distilled water in it, but that's all it has. That's just for rinsing the part after the anodization. God, that's a weird word. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some baking soda and add it to the distilled water to create an electrolyte solution. Then we're gonna stir that up. All right, now that we have our solution mixed up, we're gonna need some batteries. Now the next thing we're gonna need is a part. And if you were at IMTS, you may have watched me machining these over in the DN Solutions booth. All right, now the next thing we're gonna need is some alligator clips. So we're gonna hook our red cable to our positive terminal of the battery and our black cable to the negative terminal. Now, if I were to take both of these leads right now and stick them in this water, this one would turn brown almost immediately from oxidization. So it would get covered in rust, and we don't want that. So we're gonna use a nice little piece of copper wire. All right, so we're gonna wrap our copper wire around our
I got lots
alligator
of that from when the electrician came to Mom's house.
clip here. We're gonna now put this into our part and make sure that we got good contact between the wire and our part.
Yeah, watch
So now
this.
we can
This'll
put this
blow your
down in our
mind.
electrolyte solution. And the next thing we need is a piece of metal for our negative cathode. So we're gonna use one of Trevor's nifty little bike levers. All right, so this is all that we needed. Now, as soon as I put this into the electrolyte solution, it's gonna start right away anodizing our part. We're gonna take this piece of titanium, put it down in our solution, and clamp it in our bowl. All right, now you may notice a bunch of bubbles coming off of our negative cathode here. And what we're doing is we're creating hydrolysis. So what's happening is the water molecules are separating right now into oxygen and hydrogen. Why isn't it coloring the whole part? Hurry up.
I think it takes a while.
That'll suck if this part doesn't anodize right. Everything I touch doesn't work as soon as the cameras turn on. It ain't f***ing working, fellas. This is not the results we were looking for. Yep, I'd say we give up.
Why'd you put that big?
Oh, check that out. It's just beautiful. Perfect shade of blue all the way around.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, nah, this is garbage. So, what happened? The problem here was copper. When we introduced copper to our solution, what happened was the copper started to oxidize, and this left particulates of copper floating around in our solution. Those particulates then plated themselves to our part, preventing our part from getting a good, consistent color. And we ended up with this tie-dyed monstrosity. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna take our water, we're gonna go dump it out, we're gonna rinse out our bowl, put new distilled water, new baking soda, and then we're gonna try this again, except we're gonna use a piece of titanium as our anode. All right, so you guys may have seen this video
Fuck, I
Titan
know
did a while
titanium.
back where they made like some brake pedals or, I don't know, bike pedal, whatever this thing is. Put our cathode back on here. All right, now we can put our brake pedal in our solution. And we're gonna use another little brake lever as our anode this time. All right, you guys ready to make some magic happen?
Wouldn't they be aluminum? Oh, cool.
I'm blue, dow boom dee, dow boom dow. All right, let's see what it looks like.
That's wild.
Woo-hoo. Nice, consistent color. So we'll rinse it off, and voila,
That's permanent.
anodized titanium. Now, something that I want to mention is that this is type 3 anodizing, so it only gives us color. It's not adding any kind of wear resistance or corrosion resistance, but a lot of companies use this type of anodizing to color code titanium objects. Now, here's a super interesting fact. When you look at this part, you might think that we just changed it to blue. Well, that's not what actually happened. What you're perceiving as color is actually an interference phenomenon that's caused by the... So what you're seeing here and what you're perceiving as color is actually an interference phenomenon that's caused by light coming in and bouncing off of the oxide layer and light coming in and bouncing off of the titanium underneath that oxide layer. When those two light beams interfere with each other, what you get is the illusion of color. Now, by linking a different amount of batteries together, you can actually achieve different colors here, so you're not just stuck with the blue like we did
gold
on our bike pedal. Now, I love how simple this process is. So if you make some...
But which fucking metals do I use to submerge into the water? That's what I'm gonna have to figure out with steel, high carbon steel.
Cool little part or a cool little knickknack or desk ornament in your own shop, you can take just the supplies we have by how this bind employee. Really you'll get the guy subscribe a bit for you.
Oh, he didn't tell you the voltages. There was another video he did where I watched the voltages. Okay, here we go.
Today, I'd like to talk to you about how to anodize steel without ending up with a pile of rust. Most of us are familiar with anodized aluminum. This is the oxide layer can be dyed lots of different bright colors, and so as you can see from these coat hangers, it can become very attractive. Another similar one is anodized titanium. This is the color comes from the thickness of the oxide layer, not from artificial dyes. And so this is a spork. Here's some anodized zirconium. And similar to the other above, it's also anodized in an acid bath of voltage. But changing the thickness, we can get these different colors. Here's anodized niobium. Anodized niobium is also very attractive. These are earrings, and you can see the mountain scenes from different times.
That's beautiful.
Anodization. And then, of course, we have steel. We have rusted steel. Which brings us to our problem. The problem is steel rusts and it looks ugly. Now, to some people, they find the weathering steel appearance as attractive, but if we could improve the appearance, we could improve the marketability of steel, both in tools and in structures. And at this point, I want to bring to you a process we developed in my lab of anodizing steel in hot caustics, either sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide solutions.
Okay, that's so basically fucking Drano or lye.
Have our anode is positive. This is the one which is colored, and then we have our cathode, which is also steel too. And this is just gives us the opposite reaction. Let's do a little quick demo and watch a little video clip. So here's a video clip, and we're anodizing steel in
0.4 volts.
50, and we're anodizing steel in
too matters, huh?
50% potassium hydroxide, and I'm going to raise it 1 centimeter every minute. So there's 2 minutes, raise it a centimeter. This is at 60 degrees Celsius. 3 minutes, we raise another centimeter. And so you'll start noticing some bands, some lines across the steel sample. Okay, this is 5 minutes. The counter electrode is also steel. And 6 minutes, we raise it up 1 more centimeter. Zoomed in, you can see the colors. Glass, okay, you can see a lot of the potassium hydroxide.
Oh, okay, yeah, there it is.
We can see the colors, the bands, and everything on the
That's how long you got it in there for.
So this is our process. Very simple, very straightforward process for anodizing.
I'll have to figure
steel.
it out.
So as we can see in this here is that at different temperatures, we can obtain dark by applying different voltages. We can apply a dark coating. Lower temperatures, we get this dichroic, the colored oxides. If we go to too low of temperatures or too low of voltages, we basically get nothing. Nothing forms there. Well,
yeah, that gold right there. See it?
Protective at all.
50%.
So we can take this
50
information
degrees.
and we can make our voltage current maps. And so here we have we can take this information and we can make our voltage current maps. And so here we have 90 degrees. We have our black oxide forming, the dichroic, the colored oxides forming.
What do you use for anodes?
So here's a video clip. And we're
no, he didn't.
anodizing steel in 50% potassium hydroxide, and I'm going to raise it 1 centimeter every minute. So
they're just clips.
2 minutes raise.
They're just metal alligator clips. Fuck, I got those. So you probably have to use metal. Whatever type of metal you use, it's going to break down the metal and also coat the. I should find a way to coat the steel so it doesn't rust ever. Well,
this is a market by
not just anodized, but
turned out by Hollis back in 18. Although good surface, Here is a peak, so we have a lot of magnetite on the surface. 70 degrees C, slightly lower peaks, lower thickness, and 750 degrees down to 30 degrees C, we read out surface. Here is the cross section. We can see our oxide film here, the surface of it. Here's a very native curvature.
Right there, see the yellow? 3 volts, that's what I need. 50 degrees Celsius. Sodium hydroxide. What was the other acid? I gotta go back to the beginning.
Become very attractive. Another similar color to ludite to transformize color.
Okay, that was after that.
Both sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide.
Potassium hydroxide. Yeah, and they're both in Drano. Free. Pretty much. And then, oh yeah, where was I? It was 3 volts. 50 degrees Celsius, 3 volts. 50. They don't get a degree symbol. Degree Celsius and 3 volts. Plus 3 volts. So positive is 3. The positive anode. 3.0 volts. That'll be cool. And then, oh yeah, and it's got to be 50%. 50%. Percent symbols here. Yeah, percent. And then distilled water. I'll have to buy some. Or get a distiller. And this makes yellow. I'll put yellow beside it. I like yellow and purple. I probably wouldn't do any other kind of... the other one is 90. I'll just put 90 C. 90 Celsius. Plus 2 volts. Purple. Looks like purple. What's the colors here? I gotta turn the captions off. Yeah, subtitles. I don't need them on. There we go. Okay, there's even better yellows. Look at that. Damn. I'll play around with it. Purple, 2.1 volts. Gives you an idea, anyways, of the voltage range.
Beakers of pure deionized water for 4 weeks.
Holy fuck, it's already
evaporated. You're open to the oxygen, open to the air and oxygen. As you can see, for 600 grid.
I'm gonna get off here. Thanks for coming on, friends, and hopefully I'll get a few subscribers to that channel. All right, later.